That's a couple of takes for you.
Just a couple.
Dan Orlovsky had some takes for you. How about all the takes with our friend Pat Egan, who is producing his own segment right now. Pat, what's happening?
First of all, I always produce this segment.
Oh.
Always.
Oh.
Well, Jamie doesn't hit a
Jamie's
button.
not there for you to be like, hey, Jamie, hit the button.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have to sometimes push them.
So
you have to push them hard.
Any technological difficulties or technical difficulties in this are all on you, buddy.
No, they're on Jamie. We'll start out. In 2020...
No. How do we usually start out?
Hello.
Hi, Pat.
Hey, Pat.
All right, now you can start.
In 2020, superheroes are all the rage, right? You got Spider-Man, you got Captain America. Batman has a new movie coming out. It's trendy to be a superhero. But one guy walked so those people could run, and that guy is Ghostrider. So he was a trendsetter. He had his day in the sun. It's a hot joke there.
Is that Nick Cage?
It was Nick Cage.
Yeah.
He had two movies, 2007, 2011. They weren't very good, and since then, Ghostrider has been pretty silent. Well, if you head on over to our Twitter account at 975mornings, you can see what Ghostrider, whose real name is Glenn Schwartz, by the way, Ghostrider's been up to. He's now a Zamboni driver living in Rochester, New York. And in the social media day and age we live in, a few hockey players recognized the former superhero and decided to film him simply doing his job in an attempt to shame him.
That's wrong.
I don't approve of it at all.
Wait a minute.
No.
Literally, hold on. Is this the story with the Zamboni catching on fire?
Yeah, but you got to head on over to our Twitter account at 975mornings to see it.
So you don't want me to... So I just spoiled the tease.
In Rochester, there was a Zamboni that was caught on fire. The real story, though, is the guy, the Zamboni driver, not hopping off the Zamboni.
He just kept
and
doing
continuing to clean the ice.
And his name's Glenn Schwartz?
No, I don't know what his name is. I just thought that name was the opposite of Ghostrider. I didn't think that
You
name.
are the most random human being I have ever met in my entire life, ever.
I will take that as a compliment.
Yeah, but I'm not saying, oh my God, Pat, you're so unique. You're weird. You're just so weird. Randomly weird.
This just in?
And I think I'm pretty random. You're a freak of randomness.
So to clarify, you hear about hockey players shaming a former superhero, and now you decide to shame me? Is that the way this goes? I'm getting bullied?
I'm not bullying you.
I will tell you.
It's borderline bully.
I will tell
would
you.
say it's assault, verbal assault.
Now that the ice in a hockey rink is a common excuse for why we're not in the show. Meaning our men's league hockey players. It's like, oh, this ice sucks.
Yeah, right.
And that's why we're not, signed to a
That's
contract.
why.
Yeah.
How often now do they do Zamboni at all during a game of yours?
No.
Okay.
No, it's always after the game, and it's always rushed, and you can tell that the Zamboni drivers are trying to get it over with. I can reassure you, though, that even with the Zamboni on fire and the ice done probably pretty poorly, they probably continued to have the game afterwards. Because that's just how hockey rinks work.
Probably.
We'll move on to all-time Phillies great Chase Utley. He's known for two things: his chiseled jawline and being the man.
Yeah.
All right?
And now silver hair, just gorgeous.
Silver Fox.
He's silver.
For this work ethic in the film room, trying to pick up on pitchers' tendencies and tells. But he's also trying to catch cheaters. Because Utley joined Radio.com's The Edge, Houston Astros podcast, and talked about how he tried to catch the Astros cheating. Quote, I'm watching hours of tape. I'm watching all of their hitters. The more I dug in, the Astros obviously had a very talented group of players, but it seemed like they were doing something that other teams weren't. I felt like something was up. Now, unfortunately, all the video that Utley was watching came without sound.
I was just going to say, exactly.
He couldn't pick up on the trash can banging, but he gave the example of the Astros. Something was clearly
a miss.
A miss, yeah. So, I mean, because he was saying you lay off one or two of these breaking balls is one thing. They were laying off like they knew it was coming.
One of my favorite things with Chase Utley in film, you know that great stretch Dominic Brown, all-star Dominic Brown had?
Sure.
Yeah.
It almost coincides perfectly with Utley going on the DL, at the time the DL, with an oblique strain. And he was working with Dom Brown, watching film with him. It's amazing. And when I saw that story yesterday about Chase Utley actually trying to break down the film, I was like, how did he not get it? I didn't realize that there was no sound.
There's no sound.
There's no sound.
No beating of the trash can.
I miss Chase Utley.
The thing is, there's no doubt in my mind, too, that he would have caught up on the tell had there been sound.
You know what was a great send-off for Chase Utley? The phone not being taken off the ringer in Baltimore in the bullpen. When he's out on the mound, he's giving it to Ryan Sandberg.
Yep.
And who was the pitching coach at the time?
Oh, God. It wasn't
the name
Doobie.
escaping me.
It wasn't.
Bob McClure.
Was that it?
It might be him, yeah.
It might have
Might have been.
God, I miss Chase. Okay. Phil,
All right, calm down, Pat.
You all right?
Stay focused.
I am. Why am I not? We're talking about. I'm moving on. Nick Saban. Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Saban and Alabama's AD, they tested positive for coronavirus. But luckily, the game between Georgia and Alabama is still on because neither school wants to cost the players a game check. Oh, wait.
I see what you did there.
They don't get paid.
Way to make a statement. By the way, on that note, this just came up.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Adam Schefter now reporting the Atlanta Falcons are shutting down their facility after multiple positive tests. Sources tell ESPN.
Who did they play last week? Carolina?
Was it Carolina? Yeah,
I think Carolina did beat them, yeah.
So, and this is coming on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So they're not going to play.
No, that's
Carolina won't play.
That's random.
Cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So,
welcome to the NFL.
Anyway, yeah, so Nick Saban, how about that guy, huh? He tested positive.
And then did a press conference.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
now, did he know he had COVID when he did the press?
Yeah. He was aware of it, and he was talking about his team and how he hopes everybody's okay.
It was a Zoom press conference.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As I thought that was.
Yeah, no, and you're right.
COVID world.
Yeah, you know, in today's day and age, I should just assume that. Yeah, of course, it's going to be Zoom, but for whatever reason, I didn't. But yeah, okay.
Asymptomatic as of right now. Yeah. So.
And we talked to Adam Schefter yesterday about the possibility of them going into a bubble, which is going to be tough to do, but also going on and adding weeks into the season. Do you guys think that that's going to happen? Because
everything's on the table.
I mean, I understand. Look, he's going to leave the door open, but you, as you and Bob,
do I think it's going to happen?
Do you think that they're going to end up having to extend the season? Because
I do.
Now it's every week is another. It's like every week you have the bye week for teams, and every week you have the COVID week, where some team had an outbreak, and next thing you know,
I think they are going to have to. When you're already canceling a Thursday night football game, I think you're going to have to end up tacking a week or two on to the end of the season.
They just canceled the pro, frees up another week.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
But the thing with football though is you can go late. That's the beautiful thing about football. You can just go late.
I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to have the.
You asked the question, we're answering it.
Yeah, why are you?
Why do you argue?
I don't really appreciate the tone that I'm
I feel
getting
like
today.
I'm home. I get asked a question, I give an answer, and then it's ignored anyway.
I like when they.
Well, then don't ask the question,
when they
Pat.
respond and they're just like, that's not good enough. What else you got?
I don't really appreciate it. Well, you want to know my next take? I don't appreciate your tone. We'll move on to the next take after that.
I want you and Bob to fight physically over who's got the better Union swag on today.
Yeah, we'll do that on Twitch.
Okay.
During the break.
There you go.
Philadelphia sports radio producer / host was getting ready to go closing on his house when he asked a simple question to the couple whose house he was buying. Quote, "What's your go-to pizza place?" But
it's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, that's a given, right?
Moving into a new neighborhood, hey,
you got to know.
You got to know.
You got to know, right? So he asked, "What's your go-to pizza place?" But the producer, who won't be named because of his desire to remain anonymous, wasn't prepared for the couple's response. Quote, "We're not really pizza people." Yeah, that's troubling, right? Well, the producer immediately told his wife to grab their infant daughter and head to the car right away.
Oh.
I immediately knew once they weren't pizza people, I had to get my daughter and my wife and get the out of there. I no longer felt safe.
The producer in question has been missing since this segment started.
You are a weird. Wow. You're a weird dude, man. Did you get that audio?
No personal questions. I'll answer for you, Pat.
It actually sounded like one of our commercials, actually.
You know what? And it took me far too long to figure out how to do that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, right. A little bit. But yeah, so if you end up seeing that producer out and about,
wish him well.
Yeah, because he's been missing.
Real quick, what is the weirdest? Now, in all honesty, what's the weirdest thing? I'm not really like you tell me all the time, Bob. You're not much of a sweet eater.
Yeah.
I do not discriminate in food. I eat just about everything.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yes, you do. You won't eat other people's meatballs.
Well,
that's discrimination.
No, it's not. It's because I love my family.
That's meatball hate.
It's because I love my family.
If I just didn't eat meatballs in general, that's weird.
Oh, that's discrimination.
Yes, that's discrimination. But there's nothing I look at and go, I'm not really, like, I don't eat seafood. Unless you have, like, some kind of seafood allergy or shellfish allergy, that's weird. I don't understand the people who are like, I rule that out. Like, pizza.
Well, I mean, if they've tried it and they rule it out, okay, fine. But when you haven't tried it and you rule it out, that gets on my nerves.
But like somebody saying they're not a pizza person is weird. Like there's so many different forms of pizza for you to enjoy.
That it's troubling.
It's troubling.
Okay.
Yes,
It's troubling that we live in a country where there are people like this.
Yeah, exactly.
That don't like pizza.
Like I'm a salt eater. I don't like salt or whatever. I do like salt. Don't like it. Like that to me is weird. Like I'll eat it. If it's delicious, I'll eat it.
Yeah, I'm just okay.
My
And
meatballs
as I
are
said,
delicious.
I'm sure they are, and I'm sure you do a great job at trying to make meatballs. So that's good.
Apparently, the couple found each other on an anti-pizza dating app, and they're now living a great life, moving out.
What
of their
app
house.
did you and your wife find each other on?
When you take
Farmers only. Yeah.
Meet at Applebee's.com.
I got a month for free, and it worked out.
What else you got?
Birthdays today.
Hey!
The first African American. Actually, I don't know if he's African American. He might be African Canadian. First black player to play hockey, Willie O'Ree. Stumbled over that.
I'm
over
not
and
even
over again.
kidding. I blew up somebody's mind with a question about this because I remember referring to Wayne Simmons as an African American because I thought African American meant any person of African descent that was brought over to the Americas, North America, South America, whatever it was. And I was like, so do Canadian hockey players who are black, do they consider themselves African American? And I broke this guy's brain. He's like, I never thought about it, but in Canada we just say black.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's an answer. That's an answer for me.
Well,
But
he made his debut with the Boston Bruins,
Yeah.
and he's celebrating a birthday. He's a trendsetter, pioneer.
Yeah.
Former Sixer Ron Anderson.
Hey,
I think he's no longer with us.
No, he is.
Is he?
Yeah, the prep service we use that I get these from. It'll say if the person passed
Well,
away.
that's ironclad right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And
The prep service I get this from.
if
Wikipedia.
full transparency.
I don't
And
think you're right.
Connor Barwin, Eagles coach and former linebacker. Connor Barwin celebrates
Connor
birthday.
Barwin's birthday!
We will. Bob, you got an answer yet?
Give me time, Pat.
Okay. We'll get that taken momentarily.
Yeah, right.
That's a tease.
Happy birthday, Connor Barwin.
Today in history, in 1988, Mario Lemieux had 8
I'm wrong.
points in a game. You want to repeat that, Bob?
Mario Lemieux had 8 points in a game. I heard you.
That's right. 8 points in a game. 2 goals, 6 assists. It's just nuts. I think I had 8 points all season.
He's pretty good.
Also in 1988, Kirk Gibson hit his famous walk-off off Dennis Eckersley in Game 1 of
I
the World
can't
Series.
believe what I just saw.
Now, when we talked about great Philadelphia calls from national announcers, when you talk about greatest calls ever, all time, I don't believe what I just saw. I can't believe what I just saw. I don't believe what I just saw. The way that's said, oh my God.
Yeah, it's got to be up there. In 2005, USC played Notre Dame and won 34-31 thanks to the push that Matt Leinart got on the goal line from Reggie Bush. Great
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yes, it was a great game.
In 2008, the Phillies clinched the NL pennant thanks to a gem by eventual World Series MVP Cole Hamels.
Wow, those were the days, man. Those were the days.
For the final event that took place in history, we'll go back to 1933. Philadelphia Eagles played their first game ever. They lost to the Giants 56-0, and from Jump Street, they let us know what we should expect.
Yeah, right.
And that dramatic pause is all it takes.
It does.
Mark Farzetta with Bob Cooney and Jamie Lynch. Mornings on 97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia.